And welcome to the Sports Roundtable. I'm Tom Lamont, your host, and it's October, and that means more high school football. All four of New Hanover County's high school football coaches are with us today to talk about their week and see how they did in gridiron action on the field. And joining us first is Earl Smith, the head coach of the New Hanover Wildcats. And coach, again, another week for the Wildcats. Got ahead early, took control of the game 49-0 over Topsail, and again, just a great performance for the Wildcats.
Yeah, we were pleased as a staff with the way we came out. We weren't flat this week, and had a good week of practice. We keep talking about improving, and they've done that. You know, did a good job of shutting them out 2 weeks in a row, two teams in a row. And you know, we were up 42-0 at half, and it became a running clock the second half. We were able to get in some of our second units quite well, pretty much the whole second half. So it was a total game for us.
Got to see a lot of players and a lot of action. Let's get a look at the highlights. Lots to look at here for the Wildcats.
I believe this starts off with Blake connecting to receiver Cole Tanner for a pretty good gain here. We were actually in a 2nd and 15. Gave us a first down. And came back here with a double pass. Blake throws it to Freddie. Freddie throws it to Wiz. We gave Freddie a hard time. He's a little bit underthrown, but he's wide open. Gets it to him, and Wiz doesn't quite get in the end zone. But again, it's just part of our offense and keeps people on their toes. Our defense continues to do a great job of dominating the line of scrimmage. Here we got Nas and our defensive end.
They were in the backfield.
In the backfield. We had quite a few tackles for losses. Here's another tackle for loss by Nas Brown, and pretty much shut their running game down. And our interior young guys, those two guys in the middle there, Garrett and Brandon Caesar, continue to improve every week. And here's just great pressure, all three of them. We're really doing a good job with our screen game. Here's a shuttle screen to Wiz, and runs through those two guys and then just turns it on right here. He just continues to amaze me.
Breaks some tackles there and made what would have been a first down anyway, makes it into points for you.
We've got a first-year player, Josh Anderson. He's a senior outside linebacker, and he continues to improve. Here's a great sack on the quarterback. It was a run option by them. I think cuts coming up. We got another one of our. This is our tailback screen to Jabez Howard. He's a sophomore, and he continues to have another year. That's what's good about our balance right now. We're over 1,000 yards passing and rushing so far. Linemen do a good job getting downfield, and sets up a huge run here. This young man has got great speed, and he's a tough runner.
Yeah, talk about your speed. I mean, I was definitely offensively and defensively.
Yeah, you get jet sweep here with Wiz. And he's 4'5". We got 4 or 5 guys at 4'5", and that's hard. That's legitimate, and it's hard to defend that. Here we got them in a punting situation. We do what I call our block party, where we're going after it, and we didn't have to block it. It went over his head, and then Grant Daly, senior linebacker, does a great job of getting that thing and pulling it in, getting a score for us for defense. And that's something we set a goal every week of trying to score on defense at least once, and we've done that the last 3 games. Real excited. I think this next play, let me make sure this is it. We had 2 picks. Senior free safety Francis Meehan had one earlier to set up a score, and I believe this is the 2nd pick by Logan Santos, who's our sophomore cornerback. Times this thing out really well. Nope, I missed that one. Just an option. Great play by the defense. Yeah. Here, I'm a couple ahead here. We finally got our tight end Holland Boehner. He's a junior. Had a cast on his hand. He chipped a bone finally got his cast off this week. He's been playing, he just hadn't been able to catch a ball. We gets his first high school touchdown here, varsity touchdown. So he's a really big target. He's like 6'4", like 215, true tight end that we hadn't had since Garrett Walston graduated. And I think this will be the last clip here. This is Logan gets a pick here. And almost takes it to the house, but Angle's got him right there. And again, this sets up another scoring opportunity for our offense.
Well, let's talk defense first of all. Obviously, again, another shutout for the Wildcats and some turnovers. You got to be pleased with where you are defensively right now.
Absolutely, and it goes back. Our defense pretty much handles the kickoff coverage and the punt, and you do the math. We kicked off 8 times again this week, and we've been giving up yardage on that. And again, the defense has taken pride in that, and that's another piece of the game that we've improved on, and that helped tremendously. We were pretty much pinning them inside the 20 or 25, and our kicker Wesley Gaines is just about he's about a yard away from putting it in the end zone. He's getting a little stronger every week. So our defense continues to dominate.
Offensively, Blake Watson continues to do a great job at quarterback. You're getting great running from Howard and Vaughn as you've had all season long. So again, offensively, the machine just keeps moving for the Wildcats so far. Coach, 6-0 now in overall in terms of your schedule, 2-0 in the conference. Next up is always difficult to play, crosstown rivals. You're going to go up against Laney on the road. So what does Laney bring to the table?
They're very athletic. We went down to the wire last year and blocked the extra point to win. Their quarterback's back, and they've had some struggles this year, but we'll get their best shot, and we know that. And playing at Laney, they always play well. And Sidbury, he's quite an athlete they got at quarterback, so we've got to do a good job of containing him. Hoggard this past week did, and we got to do the same thing, and we got to make sure that we score every opportunity we can get. All
right. Coach Earl Smith, the head coach of the New Hanover Wildcats, here on the Sports Roundtable. We'll be back with more right after this. Welcome back to the Sports Roundtable. I'm Tom Lamont, your host. We continue discussion on high school football. Next up in the seat is Craig Underwood, head coach of the Hoggard Vikings. And Coach, a big win for your Vikings in a conference game against a crosstown rival. Those games are always more exciting. Kids always get up for that. You win 44-13, but you really dominated defensively.
I'd say really proud of our defensive execution. Laney does a great job with just attacking the field multiple ways with a lot of speed, and I thought our guys answered the challenge.
Coach, let's take a look at the highlights. A lot of highlights to look at offensively for your team as well.
Yeah, this is in the first quarter, big special teams play. They had a little bit of a high snap, and we had good pressure coming, able to recover the football in the end zone. That was our first touchdown. Then back on the defensive side, guy that just had a huge night was our defensive tackle, Daniel Eason. Was shedding blocks and making plays in the backfield throughout the night. This is getting into a little bit of an empty package. Josh Jones scrambling out, hitting Anthony Schiavone was the leading receiver of the night. We've been able to, throughout each game this year, there's been a different leading receiver, so that's been exciting. This is Kenneth Marshall, who's had to step in as a running back. He just keeps getting better each week. Lloyd Giroux, still a little banged up, so we're trying to get him healthy. Again, Josh Jones dropping back and then stepping up in the pocket, hitting Anthony Schiavone again. Good protection by the offensive line throughout the night, but Laney does a good job getting pressure on you. So Josh's feet came into handy. Speaking of feet, Laney's quarterback, Sidbury, is difficult to get down. Gave us fits throughout the night, but I was really proud of our guys' coverage lanes. This is 4th and 1. Our guys got lined up quick, and they did kind of a quick snap, but we were able to get penetration and get the stop. That was a big stop there. This is a 3rd down in the red zone. Josh Jones to Chris Tootle. Demetri Brown out there getting a block for him to spring him, so I was pleased to see that. Our kickoff team, Jeremiah Kim's done a good job getting touchbacks, but we had a little gust Friday night, wasn't able to get in the end zone every time. Was not exactly pleased with the coverage on this. As you can see, they broke some tackles, but at the end, we were able to punch it out. Junior linebacker Daniel Knott recovered it. I was really glad for him to get in there as a big play in the football game. Jet sweep to C.J. Pipkin, and then pulls up for a double pass to Anthony Schiavone. I was really pleased with the way the offense was able to set that up. And that's a credit to Coach Dylan Demick and our offensive staff. They just do a good job of attacking the whole field, something we try to focus on. So here's quarterback scrambling again. Christian Holler, Lana Romano, several guys getting in there. We had the Mike Blitz from Christian Holler here. Was able to come through and drop him for a loss. So we were able to get into the backfield quite a bit. Here's another one. I wish Christian makes the sack here, but he does pressure a bad throw and a great break from Brandon Buer, free safety. He's a senior, first-year starter as a senior though. He's really done a great job for us. Can't say enough about Brandon. Little reverse again. Coach Demick drawing it up in the playbook. This is Trey Hauser. Some good blocking on the perimeter there. Guys, able to set up. Trey getting a good run. Again, a little penetration. This is our kind of defensive line. Everybody closing in those coverage lanes. That was such a big part of the game plan. And then Jeremiah Kim hitting a field goal for us here at the end. We're just trying to get him to continue to get a little more distance. He's really accurate, inside, 20 and inside, but, his leg just continues to grow and his accuracy continues to grow. So him and Will Morton, our punter, they become big-time weapons for us.
Again, 44-13 victory for the Vikings, John T. Hoggard. And Coach, talk a little bit defensively. First of all, 8 times you were able to get to the quarterback and 8 sacks. Obviously with Sidbury, such a talented quarterback with a lot of quickness. He still created some problems for you, but you were able to sack him 8 times and then a couple of interceptions. So defensively, your game plan worked. Yeah,
I'll tell you, we have a really coachable group. I'm really pleased with, our front 7 is, they're very talented, but they're also really coachable in terms of being able to run some multiple schemes and stunts to attack people. And that's the defensive line, the linebackers, and then just the coverage on the back end. Isaiah Kemp and Tayshawn James have just done a great job at corner for us, and those 2 safeties, Moulton and Buer, senior leadership on that back end. I can't say enough about our defense and the way that we've played.
On the offensive side, again, quarterback Josh Jones, another good night, 9 for 13, 203 yards, 2 touchdowns. His leadership at quarterback, again, a good night for him.
I'll tell you, he's just got a great, calm presence. He moves well in the pocket. And then again, you look at the completions, great accuracy. Guys aren't having to run crazy to make these catches. He's putting the ball in the money.
All right, the Vikings now go on the road. Another conference battle, this time down to West Brunswick. And what do the Trojans bring to the table that sets the preparation for you this week?
Well, I'll tell you, on the offensive side of the ball, they're a wing T offense, but they're fairly multiple. They've got talent in the backfield. The quarterback runs the bootleg well, so we've got some definite challenges there. And then defensively, they run some multiple looks. So just some challenges up front this week in preparing for what exactly we're going to get. They're always, they have great speed. They're very well coached. So it'll be a challenge for us to go into Charlotte and get a win.
Very good. Coach, again, congratulations on your win against the Laney Buccaneers. Again, Hoggard Vikings winning 44-13. Head coach with us, Craig Underwood. Thanks again, Coach. We now have a moment to say that we'll be back with more of the Sports Roundtable right after this. Welcome back once again to the Sports Roundtable. I'm Tom Lamont, your host. Joining us now is the head coach of the Laney Buccaneers, Ashad Yeoman. And Coach, you had a tough conference game, a crosstown rival game. Had to travel over to take on the Hoggard Vikings, losing 44-13. But your kids never gave up and played hard. But again, at the end of the day, Hoggard took it to the Bucks pretty good there, especially early.
They did. They seized the momentum early with the special teams touchdown, and we just wheels kind of fell out after that. But it's a testament to the job that they did with their kids, preparing them throughout the week, and it shows that I got a lot of work to do myself to get my kids ready for those big games. So, but again, I'm proud of the effort, just like you said.
Absolutely. We got some highlights from the contest. Let's take a look at those now for the Laney Buccaneers.
So they ended up getting the first down in the first set of drive, and then we kind of settled in a little bit, and that was a great job by a host of the guys coming in and making sure the kid got on the ground. But Thomas Brasher was the first initial guy to make contact, and that's a testament to the defense. And like you said, Sidbury had gotten sacked probably about 8 times that game, but he did a great job of fighting all night long and trying to create space. And I'm absolutely proud of the effort that he was giving us and giving us a chance to come out on top. And that's a two-way player there, Matthew Scott. He did a great job. That's one of the best games that he's had within the season of playing defensive tackle. And he plays offensive line for us as well. And there's Thomas Brasher, again, coming up with a huge play for us. Needing to get that kid on the ground. I think they ended up coming out with a touchdown on it anyway, but I'm just proud of the effort again by the guys. And that's us running the option. That was one of the better option plays that we had. Sidbury got it out quick to Jason Billingsley, and it was a huge gain for us and got us in position. We ended up getting stopped on 4th down and turnover on downs, but and then here's Carl Lane and a host of other guys. Tackling wasn't the greatest either for us on the defensive side of the ball, and if you want to be in contention for a lot of things, man, you got to be able to get those guys on the ground. Huge play for them, and then our guys never gave up, and they gave us an opportunity to get a turnover, and that's Kenwan Watkins returning it back. And again, like we talked about earlier, look at the effort of him just trying to make something happen and finishing that run out. Again, here's Sidbury. Those guys did a great job up front, getting pressure. They sit in the corner on that particular play. He gets out of it. He finds Jason Billingsley and sets us up for the first down. So another big play by him. And then here he is again, just kind of trying to find something and scrambling. And the offensive line doing a great job of just trying to protect him and not getting down the field. We got close there. And then there he is again, finding Jason Billingsley. And then he turns it into a score for us.
And that was Sidbury all the way, scrambling, staying, away from the defenders, just enough time to find that open receiver.
No doubt. And then, being young, he kept his eyes downfield, which you don't get a lot of that when it comes to, younger quarterbacks. And, last year he took over the reins for us, and, he's got that experience. We still got a lot of work to do to get better, but there's a good base, good foundation there. And then there's Prison. Daquan Prison, finishing off with a score. 2 of my young guys there, that was Matthew Sims and Daquan Prison, with some big runs for us to kind of keep us in it, just keep fighting.
Very good. Coach, this game you started out with an onside kick, trying to make something happen early. Fortunately for your team, you stopped them, but then the big turnover on the punt, going over your punter's head, ended up giving them a score in good field position early, and then
yes,
of course
sir.
Offensively you had some difficulty holding them. But
right.
Again, you never saw the Buccaneers not come out and play hard throughout this night, and so you got to take that, move on to the next, and
yep.
As you sit back and take a look at the video. Offensively, besides Sidbury, where else do you really need to get some things going?
Well, everything starts up front, in any facet of the game. When you look at the football game, it starts up in the trenches. Offensive line versus defensive line. And if you can usually win those battles, you can be successful. So we got to shore up some things on the offensive line and defensive line, and I think it'll help us greatly in the back half and with our linebackers and our secondary. So we get those things shored up, and we'll get going.
Very good. Daquan Pridgeon, of course, getting the TD for you late in the contest, got on the board. So running game, you did have some success, but again, that tough Viking defense caused a lot of issues for you.
They did, but it gives us an opportunity to see what we need to work on and what we need to do to get better. So I'm looking forward to the challenge.
Up next for the Laney Buccaneers this week, it doesn't get any easier. Obviously, you're going to be back at home, hosting the New Hanover Wildcats back in Buccaneer territory. So going back home and taking on the Wildcats, what does that present to your club this week?
I see a lot of similarities in both teams as far as the Vikings and the Wildcats. Those guys do a great job of just being disciplined and executing their offense, executing their defense, and that's why they're undefeated. They tackle well, and they're very, very well disciplined is what I see, and very explosive on the offense side of the ball, and they got a great special teams game too. So I'm looking forward to the challenge. I'm sure the kids are as well. So it's exciting, and I'm looking forward to the opportunity.
When you play those crosstown games with the kids, with the emotions, is that something else you have to address each week as you take on a rival like that?
Well, it actually kind of helps us in our preparation. You know, you worry about kids being lackadaisical, not taking practices serious, but when it comes to these weeks, it's usually not an issue, you know, so I'm excited about practice. So.
All right, Coach. Well, good luck against New Hanover. Again, the Laney Buccaneers coming up short this week, 44-13 to the Hoggard Vikings. They fall to 3-3 overall, 1-1 in the Mid-Eastern Conference. But looking forward to going back home in Buccaneer territory. So again, Coach Ashad Yeoman, thanks for being with us. We'll be back with more of the Sports Roundtable. Welcome back one more time to the Sports Roundtable this week. We're now joined by the head coach of the Ashley Screaming Eagles, Jeff Turner. And Jeff, we just talked about this before we went on the air. It's almost like deja vu. Last week you lose a 7-0 game, and unfortunately Ashley's offense, again, you guys struggle. You lose 3-0, but your defense, great game again. You were in the ball game. Overall thoughts?
Well, I tell you, it's very disappointing. You know, defensively, that was sort of our goal this year, is to just firm up the defense. I thought we were weak last year. At the same time, thinking offense would, you know, keep getting better. But it's disappointing. We missed a field goal early. We got a penalty that brought us back about 15 yards. We were on the 25-yard line. We had opportunities, and we're just not finishing. Our kids. You know, to be quite honest with you, we're not tough enough on the O-line, and we were on the 1-foot line, to go ahead and win it, and that's when you find out who's tough or not. And you're just going to see if you're going to get it in the end zone, and we didn't do it. So, you know, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure out that we're struggling on offense. It's disappointing, but at the same time, you know, this is something I talk about all the time with kids, and you know. We talk about adversity. Let's see how, you know, what are we going to do now? You know, it's easy to just cave in, but so we're gonna see what happens, and we're gonna have to make some moves and this and that. We've struggled all year offensively, and it is disappointing. So. Okay.
Again, a disappointing loss to South Brunswick, 3-0. You do have some highlights
You know,
to show
us
today.
Couple defensive highlights.
Yeah, let's take a look at those highlights now.
You know, defensively, the kids have been very coachable. They just get after the ball. They're having some fun. I mean, we are limited both sides. I mean, I believe, you know, it's hard to say, but I believe we were the better team, but we just didn't capitalize on doing what we're supposed to do and missing the field goal, you know, getting a penalty and bringing us back 15 yards from the you know, right here we're in the red zone, and then we bring it all the way down, don't score, and then miss a field goal. So, you know, we're on the 15-yard line, and that's a chip shot for our guy. And so, you know, we're just not taking the opportunity and running with it. The kids are learning a lot. You know, they practice hard, and we're going to see what we can do today. Maybe change some things. But we still have an opportunity to rebound.
Good pursuit in the backfield.
Yeah,
very quickly, you know, there defensively.
They had some field position, but we just didn't let them score, and it went into overtime. This was overtime where we lost 3-0. Right. So we held them in overtime, and they kicked the field goal to win. And we went for the win on that. So, you know, very disappointing. But this is also a part of the process in what we're doing, and the kids got to realize it. Good pursuit, white jerseys on it.
Yep,
there you go.
Gang tackling, everybody getting after it.
Yep, yep. They did a good job. Again, all we needed was a few points, and it was, you know, disappointing we didn't get that.
No question you're getting the effort on the defensive side. There's no question watching this video. Offensively, again, able to get some yardage there. I guess consistency on offense is key for you.
Consistency and execution, and just the simple things that we need to fix. And you know, special teams did a good job, except that one field goal we missed early. And you know, I just, this was one of those games where you have to take a step back and really, you know, and for me personally, I understand this is why, you know, we do this, and this is what I knew I was getting into, and this is the rewarding part, because you have to be pretty strong to deal with a situation like this. So on one side, it's very, very disappointing, but on the other side, with these kids, we're trying to build character also and good stuff. So I saw the kids in school today. I was happy to see what they were, you know, talking about and concerned and what I was going to say. And I told them no treatment today, and you just get right down, and we're going to meet first and talk about things and then go out and practice. So they sent a mass text message out. Coach, everyone knows. So there's the few that, you know, when going gets tough, maybe they quit kind of thing. But now we're going to find some character. We're going to teach some kids some character. And then we'll just see after that. We're going to see what happens. But we've made unbelievable improvement. Unbelievable.
No, yeah, no question about that on the defensive side. Again, a great effort for the defense. And I guess, you know, the million-dollar question is, for the Ashley Screaming Eagles, is how do we get this offense going? What's going to be different this week to get you on the board?
Yeah, well, we're going to challenge some people. We're going to change a couple things, and then challenging some people that have to play both ways. And you know, back in our day, and still a lot of players, we all played both ways. But kids are different now. They're not as tough where they can play both ways, and we've tried to, and then they've come off the field. So at the same time, if you take away from a kid who's really your standout on defense and he plays both ways, now he's not a standout, are you letting more points up? So there's a lot of different things that think about. Again, kids are different, but we're going to challenge them because it's got to be that way. If we're not getting anything execution with the kids now, we have to find kids that are going to, you know, get us in the end zone and push, you know, in the end zone. So you know, the community is excited, and you know, and it's great to see them expecting to win, and that's the great thing. So it's changed a lot.
Good news. You go back home. You take on North Brunswick. What does North Brunswick bring to the table?
Well, I'll tell you, going to back home, we have been away the whole month of September. So it's amazing that we've been on buses. We had a rain out, so we've been back and forth. We hadn't been home the whole month of September, so we're finally home for this game. So it'll be sweet to get home. You know, North Brunswick, they have track kids that can run. The quarterback is a kid who, you know, you can't give airspace to. They're just a dangerous team, just like the others that are looking to exploit some of the weaknesses. And if we don't come to play with anybody, you know, we're vulnerable. We're just not good enough to just show up. And so we're going to have to really show up. But the good thing is we're home. That's a great thing. Don't have to get on bus.
Very good. Well, Coach, good luck to you this week.
Appreciate it.
Again, Jeff Turner, the head coach of the Ashley Screaming Eagles, looking to get back into the win column this week against North Brunswick. Again, that's it for the Sports Roundtable. I'm Tom Lamont, your host. We thank you for watching. We thank you for supporting New Hanover County Schools and the athletic departments at all 4 of our high schools. Till next week on the Sports Roundtable, I'm Tom Lamont.